Next topic is HTML5 Media. We are basically talking about video and audio. So here we are going to learn the concept of HTML5 audio and video support, and we'll talk about the concept of video containers and codecs. Then we are going to see actual element, video element, and then video element has what is called the track sub element. And then we can see how we can control video element using JavaScript, and we're going to see some advanced features in this space, and also features, and then libraries and frameworks. What is and why HTML5 audio and video support? If you remember the video support in browsers, in around like 2000, browsers have to install multiple plugins like a Real Player, QuickTime, and Window Media Player. So you can still see QuickTime, and you still see the QuickTime and Window Media Player, but you don't see Real Player. Okay. Now around 2004 and 2008, Flash became the dominant video plugin, so everybody was using full plugin. Now from 2009, HTML5 starts support native video support in the browser. Okay, so in 2013, HTML5 has 80% user support. So if you actually see can I use, if you actually take a look at the video support, right now it's about 90%, almost like a 91% supporting video element, okay, which is pretty good. Why HTML5 video? So it runs native in the browser, which means you don't need Flash-like external plugin anymore. You don't need any external plugin anymore. Simpler coding, so there is no need to have different coding for different formats and for different browsers. Okay, so coding is going to be pretty simpler. It's going to be simpler than than it used to be, and can be manipulated just like any other DOM elements. A video element and audio element are DOM elements, so you can you can actually perform transformation or styling just like any other DOM element. And it is the standard, which means it's a feature-proof and no vendor lock-in, and it guarantees wide adoption. And the reason HTML5 video really took off is the Steve Jobs decided not to support Flash on year 2011. So that's another big reason. So HTML5 defines two new elements which specify the standard way to embed audio and video. So they are audio element and video element. Now, before we move forward, let's talk about the underlying concepts of video containers and codecs. Video containers. So you can think of a video file like MP4 file is a container file that contains video stream and audio stream and metadata. Okay, so the video and audio streams are combined to play the video, obviously. Okay, the meta information might include a title, subtitle, cover art, and captioning information and things like that. So the container file, like a .mp4 file, is combination of these three file types: video, audio, and metadata. That makes sense? So the popular video container file formats are MP4. So if you have a video .mp4 file, internally it uses H.264 video codec format and AAC audio codec format. Okay, so you can think of H.264 is a video stream format and AAC is audio stream format. OGG is using Theora video codec format and Vorbis audio codec format, and WebM is using VP8 codec format and the Vorbis audio codec format. So again, this container file formats is a combination of internal video codec and audio codec format. So what is and why this codecs, so video and audio codecs? So codecs are basically, codec stands for, by the way, coders and decoders. They are basically algorithms and their implementations used to encode and decode a particular video audio stream so that they can be played back. Okay. The reason we need to use these codecs is because raw media files is just too big to transmit over the internet or save in a file, or, this in the file system. Okay. So again, the example video codecs H.264, VP8, and ORG and Theora. Okay, ORG Theora. Example audio formats the WAC, MPEG-3, and ORG Verbis. Okay, so as we have seen in the previous slide. Now, the issue is that the video codecs, so there is not a single codec that is being supported by all browsers at this point. So this is an issue. Okay. So the MP4 and MP4 container file format is using H.264 video codec scheme, and the browsers that support it includes Chrome, Safari, Internet 9 and above, and Firefox recently started to support it. Firefox used to not support H.264. Okay. The reason is because H.264 has some potential royalty issues. That's the reason Firefox used to not support H.264. Now it does support it partially, actually. WebM is supported by Chrome, Firefox, Opera, and IE9. Okay. And WebM is actually open source, and same thing with ORG Theora. Okay. But you can see ORG Theora is not being supported by IE. Okay. Alright, so there is no single video codec that is being supported by all browsers out there at this point. Even though MP4's H.264 is probably the most popular, the pervasive video codec, but it's not supported by, for example, like Opera. So if you try to run Opera, if you use the Opera, you are not going to be able to run MP4, the MP4 file. Fallback options. However, you can use multiple sources in your videos, which will fall back to one another. In fact, you can even fall back all the way to Flash for all the browsers. Okay, so we're going to see examples of that. There are several encoding and transcoding tools. So basically, Firefox and Handbrake and Zencoder and Micro Video Converter. So you can actually convert various formats into other formats if you need to. Alright, so let's do exercise 1. So here we are going to open, so let's actually see MP4 support. So if you click MP4 support, you can see, now actually the Opera seems to actually support from 26. Okay, so that is a change. Used to be it doesn't support MP4. Okay, now the only thing that doesn't support MP4 is H.264 is the Opera Mini. Okay, all right, so that's a change I need to update. So if this is the old screen capture, you can see Opera did not support the MP4. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to click this guy, and here basically we are choosing. We are going to see whether Chrome support MP4. So if you click test, that means error probably. That means it supports it. I'm gonna try org videos, and it supports it, and it supports the WebM as well. Okay. So now this is the old screen capture. This is new. So I'm actually using, in this case, Firefox. The Firefox supports it as well. Okay. So if I try Firefox and HTML5 Media. Yeah, Firefox now, now Firefox now supports even MP4 file, but it used to be it didn't support. Okay, so old version of Firefox, it says no for MP4. Okay, now it supports it. Yeah, okay, so this is Internet Explorer. So Internet Explorer doesn't support ORC and WebM, so let's actually try that. Internet Explorer. Okay, so here you go. And it's pretty slow. Okay, so I'm going to open, browse, and media, and okay. So now let's try here. Now we are going to use Internet Explorer. So yeah, so basically by using Internet Explorer, if I try the test, it does support it. But if I try org videos, it doesn't support it, and it doesn't support WebM either. Okay. So so that's basically what I'm saying, that there is no single video codec format that is supported by all browsers. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you guys about a few minutes to try this exercise. Now we're going to learn the details of this video element. So you can use a video element with a single source or multiple sources. So here we are using a single source as movie.webm, and it does use the controls, built-in controls. And this is the fallback. If the browser cannot handle this webm file, then this message will be displayed. Okay. Now you can specify multiple sources. So here with a video element, and you can specify multiple sources: movie.mp4 file, movie.org, and movie.webm. So if the browser cannot handle MP4, it will try this. If the browser cannot handle org file, then it will try this. And if it cannot handle any of these file types, then it's going to use the MP4. This is actually the Flash. Okay. We can even actually have a fallback using Flash. Okay? So this should be able to handle pretty much all browsers and their versions, even including the old version of the browsers. Video element attributes. So these are the attributes you can specify. Controls means that you want to use a built-in control. And autoplay, once it's loaded, you want the video to be played automatically. This is poster is basically the graphics art that gets displayed. And the loop, you want to actually play multiple times. Preload is loading the video file when the page is loaded. And this is the width and height of the video. All right, so there is actually a website called from w3.org, the playing around with those video element attributes and methods. So if you click this guy, so you're gonna do this one in the hands-on lab, okay? And you can play this guy. Also, yeah, I have to disable this. Yeah. Okay. And so these are media events. Okay, so you can see progress is actually being, the progress event happens 46 times, and this is a current time property, and so that's the volume. So I'm gonna actually, I can actually increase the volume here. So I can actually increase the volume maybe. Actually, there is a control. Oh yes, this is one actually. So I can pause, I can play, and I can increase the volume. Oh, this is decrement. Okay, so this is increment. Okay, so if I increment, you can see the volume is actually being changed. Oh, so yeah, let me try again. Plugging. So you can see the video element has a lot of properties. Okay, and in fact, a lot of method as well. Okay, so this is something that I'm gonna let you play around later on. Okay. Okay, so now we have exercise 2 is a video element. Okay, so let's take a look at the video element. So this is the, we are going to try the single source. So here, click this guy, and this one works. Okay. This is MP4 file. So as long as I'm not using, okay, so pretty much all the browsers should actually support it. Okay. Now, if you're using old version of the Firefox, or in this case, try to use the Opera. Yeah, so the Opera now supports it. So this is probably I have to actually update the documentation. As you have seen, Opera was able to, Opera version 25 or 26. They start to support MP4 files. So this is not gonna actually result like this. Okay, but old version of the Firefox and old version of the Opera will actually just have a blank like this, and you can actually control. If you display the control message, you can see it cannot handle that file. Okay. Again, this is the old of Firefox. Okay. All right. So this is the single source. So we basically specify the source of the MP4 file in the video element. Okay. And if you want to try something like if you want to try MP4, if you just give the XXX, and then you are going to actually see this message. Okay. So let's try that actually. So that is what message is this? Is Outway source single, Outway single. So when I run this guy, this should work fine. Okay, but if I just junk like this is XSS, and now if I run it, and yeah, so you can see the it doesn't display. Fail to load. Oh yeah, so this is actually fail to load situation. So it's not gonna actually yeah. So there is no file. So if there is a file called the XXX, then but it cannot handle that particular type, then this will be displayed as a fallback. Yeah, this is a file not found error rather than fallback error. So okay, all right. Okay, so I was actually doing exercise 2. Again, things should actually work fine. Okay, so single source, and this is a multi-source. So you can again try. I mean, this again should work because it does support MP4. Okay, so in this case, basically OLV file, MP4 file, WebM file, and then even the Flash. Okay, this is a timeline. So if I click this guy. This is actually starting from 10 seconds, okay, and this is starting from here to somewhere in the middle, okay. I have to take a look. Yeah, so it stopped. So it's actually starting from 0 to 10 seconds, and this one. So basically, you can specify when to start and when to stop. So that's basically what we are talking about here. So if you take a look at the code, this is starting from 10 seconds and ends in 20 seconds. And this is actually starting from the beginning to 10.5 seconds. This is actually played from the beginning for 2 hours. Okay. This one is starting from 15 seconds and to the end. Okay. Somehow I couldn't actually get this one to work. Okay, let me actually try the fourth one. Yeah, so I couldn't actually get it to work. So basically I want to start from the beginning, from someplace. Oh, that's actually this guy. Okay, so what am I talking about here? This is the case. Oh, so if you don't specify, yeah, if you don't specify unlimited, yeah, so somehow I couldn't actually get it to work. As long as you specify end seconds, it works fine. Okay. The beginning, it doesn't specify starting from 0, so that works. But this one, somehow, the unlimited end, that didn't work. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys about the few minutes to try this exercise too. Next one is a track sub-element or video element. So track sub-element is used to provide time trigger text to the viewer. Okay, so if you're using a movie or if you're using videos, then you can certainly have this track information. There are 5 different types of tracks. Subtitles is a translation of the dialogue in the video, and the captions, transcription of the dialogue, sound effects, and musical cues, and other audio information. So subtitle and captions are something that we are very much familiar with. Okay, and chapters and descriptions and metadata. Okay, descriptions and metadata, they are not supported at this point. Okay, as this is actually as of last year, December last year. So it might have actually changed a little bit depending on browser version. Okay, so I have to check. All right, now it's actually it's actually being saved as a web VTT format. So that's something we're gonna actually play around. Track element has a multiple attributes. You can specify the kind. So by using kind attribute, you can specify what kind of track types. Okay. As a default, it's going to be subtitles. If no kind is included, we are basically talking about these 5 different kinds. Okay. And again, source is the source of the track file. So this track file should actually contain information about the subtitles and descriptions or whatever. Okay, you can specify source language, so 2-letter code for the language of the text track. For example, EN for English, and then KO I think is for Korean. So you can in fact have a multiple track files for each language. Okay. The label for the track that will be shown to the user, for example, in a menu that lists the different language available for subtitles. And the default is the default selection. So, for example, you can specify if you have a multiple languages, then you can select one of those as a default. Okay, so this is an example. So we have a video element, and then it has 2 track sub-element. And each of these track element is specifying subtitles kind, okay, which is a default. And this is a source file. So this is English version of the subtitle, and this is a Korean version of the subtitle. Okay, and this is the source language is English, and then we say label, this is what gets displayed, and this is a default. So when this track is being when this video is being played, this subtitle will be used. This is a case that I'm actually using Korean subtitle, okay, and the source language is KO. All right, we are going to actually use HTML5 video caption maker to create a caption. Okay, so if you go over here, you should be able to create a caption. So that's something we're going to do in the hands-on lab. Okay. All right, so that's exercise 3. So let's take a look at the exercise 3. Okay, so we need to run HTTP server on the HTML5 media. So let's do that. Okay. So we're going to actually stop this guy. So this is actually from geolocation. So we are going to go to HTML5 media, and here we are going to run run HTTP server bed file. Okay, so this HTML5 underscore media, now that is the root directory of this HTTP server. Okay, all right. Now, now we're going to actually create a caption. So basically, let me explain what you do. So, you're going to go to this website and you are going to see this, okay? And, you are going to specify the location of your MP4 file. And, this is the MP4 file that we want to provide a caption, okay? So we're going to just copy this guy and then you specify over here and then you're going to load the video file, MP4 file, and then it will display. Now, what you're going to do is we are going to choose, in this case, like a web VTT format, okay? And then, yeah, by the way, you cannot actually use a file URL. You have to use the HTTP URL. So this is a single origin policy problem, okay? So if you're using this file version of it, it's going to have a single origin policy constraint problem. So that's the reason we have to use HTTP, the URL location, okay? That is coming from this HTTP server, okay? Then what we are going to do is now we're going to select the web VTT, okay? And then you play the video and, whenever you want to provide a caption, basically you type it and then you save and continue. And then it will be captured like this, okay? And later on, you are going to actually save it into a file, okay? So this is what gets actually created, and you capture this guy into a file, okay? And then when you run this guy, and you're gonna actually see this capture. So let's actually try that. So we are going to go this URL. Yeah, so this is from Microsoft, and we are going to specify the URL using HTTP and load. So this is actually being loaded, right? Okay. So we are going to choose caption file format web VTT, this guy, okay? And then we are going to play this guy, all right? Now we are going to, we're going to actually enter anything. Hello. Oops. Oh, yeah. So whenever you want to actually enter some text, you're going to actually say pause. And then here you're going to actually add some text. This is Sang Shin's caption 1. Okay. And then you save and pause. And you can see this is actually being added in the caption list. And then, I'm going to pause right here. And here, this is the scene I like the best, or something like that, and save and pause. Okay? All right, so you can see the contents actually being created here. Okay? So now later on, you are going to, so I'm going to actually pause here. And if those are all captions I want, basically I copy these contents and you save into a file. Okay? So you can actually save into a file. So you go to media and you go to samples, HTML5, okay? So there is in fact the file that is already present. So that is, oh, so VTT. So go to VTT. So I create a subdirectory here. So this is where, I'm actually copying this, the file. So I'm going to say Sang, this is English. So I'm going to just create a file. So I'm going to say sang.en.vtt. And I'm going to save the one that I just captured. Okay. So now I actually have this file. Okay, sang.en.vtt file. If you take a look at the sing.en.vtt file, this is something that I have captured before. Enter caption, and you see the black screen with this. Do you like the exception of this girl or whatever? Hello, this is Sang Shin, and this is a Korean version of it. So let me see. I can type it here. Probably that. Okay, so I should actually have some program to be able to actually, see the actual contents. Okay. So I did that, and let's see. Okay, so let's actually go back to the lab documentation. Okay, so I save into a file. Okay, so Now, if I go to this video 03 track caption.html file, it's actually using so if I click this one, it's actually using one of those files that I have previously created. Okay, so I am going to actually change this guy to use my newly created one. Okay, so this is 03 track caption. Okay, so instead of Sintel, Sintel en.vtt file, I'm going to use sang-en vtt file, which I just created. Okay, so now I'm going to refresh the page. So yeah, so this is okay. So I saved the file. Let me just try again. This is 3OA single caption. Okay, so go to tracks and yeah, so I'm going to click. Yeah, so this is the link. Is this the one that which one? Oh, okay, yeah. So it's actually displaying the correct. Yeah, so I thought this is from old file. Yeah, so it is actually using the correct file. So I'm gonna say from Boston or something like that. I save it at Boston and saved it, and then if I refresh the page, yeah, so it's actually reflecting correct data. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, so that is the tracks, and that's actually 3.1. And 3.2, here you are going to create a caption using different language. Okay, so here I have created a Korean version of it. Okay, so I display the page, and I actually capture this one in Korean. So this is actually what gets typed in. So let me just try it. Okay, so I am going to go this Microsoft site one more time. Again, this is the one that I want to copy. So here I click this guy and load, and again play. Oh, I want to select the web PTT file first, and it's being played. I'm going to actually pause, and now I'm going to actually, in this case, I'm going to use like a Korean. Hangul. Yeah, this means Korean. Hangul caption. Something like that. And save it. Okay. So it's actually being saved in Korean characters. Okay. And so now if I, so I'm going to use the previously captured Korean file. So that is 3.2. So I'm going to go to, yeah, so this is the file. This is 3.2. So if I run this guy, let's see. Yeah, this is, oh, yeah, so, yeah, what was the problem? The reason is, yeah, so I have to actually change the default. Yeah, so this one, yeah, okay, so even if it is the default, I think there was actually some issues. I'm going to just remove this guy for now, save it, and then Korean caption. Yeah, so now it's actually displaying a Korean. Okay. What is the reason of this particular case? So yeah, somehow it didn't take the default, this guy. Okay. I think I actually documented that somewhere. Okay, so if somehow you still see the English caption, oh, okay, so you just remove it and from the code and try it. It's probably because the browser honors the default language setting of the browser first, because using default setting there. Yeah, so it's actually using yeah, so it's actually using browser default to select it. Okay, so if I'm using maybe Korean kind of language as the my default on the browser, you might actually use the Korean as a default. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys about I'll give you about 13 minutes to do exercise 3. Okay. Next, we are going to see how we can use JavaScript to control video. So far, what we have used is well, we haven't used basically the built-in control. Okay. Um, so the control functions load, play, pause, and can play type. So basically whether this type can be played. Okay, so let's do exercise 4. So here we are going to have a bunch of buttons, and whenever this button is clicked, we are going to call JavaScript code to do some things. In this case, it's going to play, it's going to pause, and this is going to increase volume, decrease volume, and it will make mute and unmute. So let's try this. So we can, so this is a built-in control. Okay, we can use a built-in control, or we can use this JavaScript control. Okay, so we can increase the volumes like this, and we can, so let's start again. We can so I think we did mute, unmute. So let's do unmute. Okay, and mute, unmute. Okay, so this is a built-in control, and this is the buttons from which we can execute JavaScript code. So let's take a look at the code. So pretty simple code. So this is video element whose ID is my video. So whenever the play button is clicked, we are going to call play method of this video element object. So basically we get the object, video object, and then we just call the play, pause, and here we are basically increasing the value of the volume property and decrease the volume property, and we are setting the mute property either true or false. Okay. Play duration. So in this case, it will display current play time and play duration. So if you click this guy, if I click this guy, this is going to have current play time, and this is the duration, so 52 seconds, and now it's currently playing 11, 12, 13 seconds or something like that. Okay. All right. So if you take a look at this code, we basically get the duration property and current time. Okay, and basically just display it. Progress bar. So in this case, we are going to let's say run it, and you can see progress bar is being displayed. Stop it. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the code, we're actually using this time bar. Okay. And then whenever the time update is actually being called, we are going to time update property is changed, and we are basically we compute the percentage. Okay, so we have current position. So we are basically using this current time and duration property. This current time will be changing, right? And then we compute the percentage by dividing maximum duration, the current position multiplies 100 and then divide by max duration. And then we are basically using CSS width. Okay, so we are just changing width of the CSS bar, time bar. Okay. And play speed. So in this case, click this guy and run it, and we can play 3 times faster and then play slower. Okay, so we can control the speed. Again, we are basically updating playback rate property. Okay, so by setting 3, it's going to run 3 times faster. This one, 0.5, that is going to slow down by half. Okay, and this is the one that I showed you during the presentation. Okay, so if you click this guy, this is where you're going to see. Okay, and here, basically you can see things are actually changing. Okay, all right, and let's see, and again, you can actually call load. So underneath is actually calling a load method, play method, pause method, and things like that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys about the 10 minutes to try this exercise 4. Next is audio tag. So audio tag works pretty much the same as video tag. So this is a single source and this is a multiple source. So here we have host.mp3 file and this is the fallback. And here we specify two sources, mp3 and org, and this is a fallback. And audio has a similar set of attributes, except like a muted. That's actually audio only. So autoplay controls loop, muted, preload, and source. Audio format, there are 3 supported file formats for the element, mp3, wave, and org. Exercise 5 is audio element. So so let's actually do exercise 5. So here, basically, single source. Okay. And if you take a look at the code, so mp3 here, and most of the browsers should actually be able to deal with it. This is multi-source. Okay. Again, this is actually old version of Firefox. Oh, this one is, yeah, okay, so Firefox should be able to handle it as well, pretty much all browsers. This is the multi-source. And the JavaScript control, yeah, so pretty much the same code as we have seen in video element. Okay. So play, pause, volume, muted. Okay. I'm going to finish up the presentation and I'll let you guys have a big chunk of time to do the lab, and then we'll probably have 10 minutes break time. Okay, advanced manipulation of videos. So you can use video element with a canvas. So we haven't learned the canvas yet. Canvas is a new element that is added in HTML5. It basically lets you draw 2D graphics using JavaScript inside the canvas. Okay. And here we're going to see how we can use the video element with the canvas. A transformation of the video with the CSS transformation. Because video is a genuine DOM element, you can actually perform CSS transformation. Cross-domain access. Yeah, we're going to actually talk about cross-domain access later on in different presentation. Okay, so let's take a look at the exercise 6. So in this case, now if I click this guy, you can see the video elements, in fact, being manipulated in different ways. Okay. So we have a video element here, and basically, we can process effect. Yeah. So basically, we are just slicing things down, slices, and then we are actually drawing things in different fashion. Okay. Yeah, I don't expect you to just understand each code. Basically, as long as you understand that video graphics can be actually kind of, chopped out and manipulated using JavaScript. As long as you understand that concept, that's good enough. This is actually transformation. So in this case, I want to move this guy to this location. That's a translate. Using CSS animation. So if I click this guy, it moved over here. It's very simple translate command. Okay, so that is actually possible because this video element is just any other DOM element in the HTML page. Okay, all right. Yeah, so basically here we are just using CSS, and then we are using the animate method of the CS. Okay. Okay, so the last topic is features. These are the features that are being supported in experimental basis, mostly WebKit-based browsers, doing a lots of experimentation. So this media capture, like a screen capture and voice capture and things like that. So if you actually go to this camera, it's actually still draft as of September 2014, and it's capturing again for the screen as well as the videos and voice and things like that. Okay. In terms of this media support, if you click this guy, for now, yeah, so only 60%, close to 59% supports the media streaming API. So right now, Firefox and Chrome supports it, but Safari and Opera browser support, the desktop browser support, but the Opera Mini doesn't support. IE doesn't support it yet. And Android browser recently started to support, it seems like. Okay. All right, so let's see. Voice recognition. So there is in fact the an API for WebKit-based browser, WebKit speech recognition. So basically you can capture your voice. Okay, so we're gonna actually do that experimentation in our hands-on lab. Page visibility is, so if you actually go to this page visibility, okay, so this is the draft version as of 11. It still didn't actually change that much, okay. This is, it defines a means for site developers to programmatically determine the current visibility state of the page in order to develop power and CPU efficient web applications. So I'm going to actually show the demonstration in a few minutes and explain it again. Okay. All right. So that's exercise 7. So let's do exercise 7. Yeah, so this is a page visibility. So page visibility is basically when you actually, without using page visibility, if you go to a different page like this, even though you go to a different page, the video is still actually running if you're not using page visibility. But if you're using page visibility, it pauses if I go to a different page and then restart from the location that it paused. Okay, so this location I got the different the web page, different web page. It pauses itself and then again it will run. So it will be running only when the page is visible. So that's this page visibility API. Okay. The next one is voice recognition. So yeah, so basically, it's a page visibility API. This is the audio record. So if I click this guy, and then click the microphone here, okay, and I can so I'm here. Hello, 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 hello. My name is Sang Shin. Sang Shin. Okay, and I can actually copy and paste. Okay, so I can actually create an email to send it to email and things like that. Okay. Now the reason, yeah. So by the way, this is actually permission based as well. So again, if I go to, I think this is the icon. So here I'm going to continue line allow block. So the default I'm gonna manage manipulation. So this one, is actually allowed to record my voice. So again, recording a voice or capturing a screen is a privacy issue as well. So, it has to ask for the user's permission. So I'm going to just, I actually grant the permission already for this application. That's the reason it didn't ask. So let me just remove it. Okay. And now let me actually try again. Okay. So let me just refresh the page. And if I click this guy, okay, so it should, yeah, so maybe this because I have to actually restart from, so I'm gonna just open the page using a brand new tab because using existing tab, just using old permission. So go to feature, audio recording. Okay, so click this guy. Now if I click, I should actually ask. That's interesting. continue allowing Google to the default. It's just, oh, maybe I didn't remove it. Okay, that's why. All right, so I just remove it. Okay, and now let me actually try to, let me see if I refresh. And here, oh, now it's actually asking me my permission. So, you know, I can either allow or deny. So if I click allow, then it's ready to record my voice. Okay, uh, the ready to record my voice is reasonably good. Okay, uh, Boston Red Sox. Okay, so that's good. And yeah, so you can actually, let me see whether uh, I can try in Korean. 안녕하세요. Yeah, it doesn't recognize my Korean. 안녕하세요. Oh, maybe I just try. Yeah, maybe actually refresh from the page. And let me just try. Try Korean. Okay, I'm gonna just 안녕하세요. Oh yeah, okay, it captures Korean language too. Excellent. Nice. Okay, excellent. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's 7.2. And you can certainly take a look at the source code. Okay, so basically creating WebKit speech recognition object, and then you're basically when the recognition gets started, you're actually capturing yeah, so on start, on error, and things like that. Okay, so only thing, yeah, basically, the recognizing true, I think, is starting to record. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you guys about 15 minutes, and let's do 10 minutes break. So we are going to get started in 25 minutes, which is 2:45. Okay.